Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We're visiting with Kim Leggett from the Canton Student Loan Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks
Kim,
for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here. You've been with the foundation for how long?
I've been with the foundation since 2003.
And the foundation itself, because this might be new information to some people, how long has it been around?
The foundation's been around for 95 years. We celebrated our 95th anniversary, so we've been around since 1922.
That is
so
amazing.
a very long time in Stark County.
Oh, my goodness. And think of how many students the foundation has helped go to college.
Yes, we've helped many, many students, close to 6,000 students with over $35 million in student loans.
That's just amazing.
It's wonderful.
And again, I think this is as people are getting to that time where they're looking at how do we afford college. This is one real feasible way, yes?
Yes, this is a big, big help for many, many families.
So what kinds of loans are we talking about, Kim?
We are talking about low-interest student loans. So our mission is to assist Stark County graduates with low-interest student loans to go to school. And it doesn't have to be a 4-year degree. It needs to be schooling after high school, so post-secondary education. So we've had students who have used the funds for automotive, for cosmetology, 2-year degrees, 4-year degrees. Students go on for their master's, their doctorate. So it's just it ranges.
So someone wants to go to medical school. Can they come to you?
Yes.
You can take it that far.
Yes. As long as they've borrowed from us from their bachelor's degree on, we have loans. We now have loans available for graduate school that students can use that money for grad school.
And can they come to you, let's say they come to you their junior or senior year of high school because they're trying to get their money collected and figure out how they're going to do this?
Yes.
They can look ahead to like 8 years to...
They can.
My goodness.
We've had many families do that. So they even borrowing from us as freshmen, and then they decide they're going to go on to grad school. But a lot of those loan programs, if you don't catch them as soon as you graduate from high school, you can't use them, and that's not the case with us. So you come to us as a freshman, you can get $3,000 a year for 4 years, which is the maximum undergraduate loan amount of $12,000. But if you didn't hear about us or you didn't need it, and you came to us as a junior, then you can borrow $6,000 a year for your junior year and $6,000 for the next year, so that's $12,000, which is the max again. But we can help you then. We want to help students whenever they come to us. So it doesn't just have to be that.
I want to make sure I'm understanding this clearly. If I haven't heard about you and I'm already in college, I still haven't missed out on those $3,000 each year. I can come to you my senior year and say, I need $12,000.
You can, except we do $6,000 for junior. We'll do $6,000 for senior.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, where does this money come from?
This
Kim?
money comes from two very important pools. So we have students who are repaying their loans, and we have a 99.8% repayment rate.
Okay,
so
that's way higher than the average.
It's way higher than the average, and we are local. So almost, every student who borrows money from us, every penny they borrow comes back to the foundation, and we use those funds to loan out again. We also have people who are members of our foundation, and they donate to the foundation because they want to help a Stark County student with their education. 100% of what someone donates to the foundation goes directly to a student. None of that is used for operating expenses.
Well, say that again.
Yeah, 100% of what you donate to the foundation goes directly to a student to help with their school expenses.
So I'm sure that it's not all volunteers that are working there. How do you do operating expenses?
We have interest from student loans. We have interest from investments that we
And that covers the salaries.
It covers the operating expenses of the foundation. And 100% of what you donate goes directly to a student, which we feel is very, very important.
Oh, my goodness. So many times you hear, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. This sounds too good to be true, but this is honestly on the level.
This is on the level. And has been for the last 95 years.
95 years. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Who qualifies? Do I need to be in need or something to be able to qualify for the loans?
There are 3 criteria. You have to have graduated from a Stark County high school. You have to have and maintain a 2.0 GPA, and you have to be enrolled in school full time. So that's
it.
the criteria, yes.
So there's no minimum income level or something, or maximum income level?
No. If we were short on funds, there is a policy that we have to look to, that we look at family income. We haven't had to do that as long as I've been there, and I've been there over 15 years. So we have had the funds, so we were able to loan to everybody who came to us. And as long as we do, then
That's just amazing.
it's wonderful.
Tell me the process now. There's an interview process. Do you need to fill out the FAFSA? What
You do.
That is a horrible thing.
Yeah, I do. So the applications are available now. So they're available, and people can go on our website, which is cantonstudentloan.org, and they can fill it out and send it to us electronically. They can call our office and ask for us to mail them a copy of the application if they wanted hard copy, and we'll do that as well. The applications are due back on June 1st, and that's a hard and fast deadline, so we have to have them back by then. And there are some things that we need along with that application. The application's not too bad. It's about 5 pages of information that's pretty easy to get. We also need 2 letters of recommendation. We need their grades from school, and that's typically high school, but if they've been in college, like you had mentioned, we need high school grades. But we need final grades, so we don't need those until they're completely done. So we need those, June-ish. And we need the student aid report from the FAFSA.
So if you are getting everything together, but you won't graduate until after June 1st, you can turn in everything else by June 1st and then get those grades to you afterwards.
Yes, and the schools are very well aware of our deadlines, and they're the ones that send us those transcripts from high school. So they handle that. If the student's in college, they still have to get us something from high school to show that they went to a Stark County high school. But when they're completely finished with classes at their college, then they'll have the school send us an official transcript.
So Stark County High School, 2.0 average, and enrolled in college.
You have to be enrolled full-time. You
Full
have to be a full-time student, yes.
These are not to go part-time.
Right.
Anywhere? Do you have to go to an Ohio school?
You don't. You can go anywhere. We've had students go. We had a student who went to culinary school in Switzerland. We have students go all over the country. We do have a lot of students who go to Ohio schools, but you don't have to.
This is amazing.
It's
And I bet you every day get to meet someone whose mouth just drops wide open. They're just blown away by what's available. Okay, we want to go to cantonstudentloan.org. You said low interest. How low is low?
Low is 6%.
Okay.
Which the effective rate of that is about 1.5% to 2% based on the length of time that a student has that money interest free. I always caution people when you're looking at loans, ask the questions about what's the interest rate, when does the interest accrue? Because with our loan, no interest accrues as long as the student's in school full time. So that money is interest free for as long as they're in school. So if they're in a 4-year degree, it's 4 years interest free. If it's a master's degree, it's longer than that. If it's a 2-year degree, it's 2 years. So no interest accrues at all. And you don't find that very much. We also don't have any fees. You don't find that very much either. There's always origination fees when you apply for loans, and we want to make it as easy as possible and as affordable as possible for students to get to school. So we don't have fees, we don't have interest accrue.
And you're exactly right, because it seems like a great deal often in the beginning when people take out some kind of a student loan, but they're not asking you to pay anything on it, but they're still adding up the interest daily until it's time.
Yeah, and I've had people just shocked to find out that was the case. So I go to the schools and I talk at different places, and I just always caution people, ask a lot of those questions. Does the interest start to accrue? When does the interest start to accrue? Am I going to pay a fee, or is a fee going to come out of or be charged to my account? All those things are really important things to ask.
So is there a penalty for paying it all off if there's some kind of a windfall when you graduate, or do you still need to pay it in portions?
No, there's no fee. So there's no penalty if you want to pay off the loan early, and we do have people every year who do that. So that's totally, it's a totally interest-free. It's pretty much money-free that they've been able to benefit from.
It's amazing, because so
it's
often
really good.
when you're buying money, to be able to go to school. This seems like absolutely the most cost-effective way to do it. Do you have an idea of how long it generally takes then if someone is going to make regular payments? About how long, on the average, does it take for someone to pay it off?
If somebody has borrowed the full $12,000 for their undergraduate degree, if they pay according to our payment schedule, which we wanted it to be reasonable, so students start off paying $100 a month that first year, it goes to $150 that second year, and then the third year in repayment, it's $195, and that's as high as it goes. It takes about 7 years to pay the loan back in full.
Okay, well, 7 years is way better than hearing all these people that are like 40 years old still paying off their college loan.
Yeah, I know.
You must hear a lot of stories.
I do hear a lot of stories.
If you are 60 years old and you decide to go back to school, is it possible to go back and get your high school transcripts and come to you and say, I'd like to give this a try? Or is there so many years that you can have been out of high school before you can apply?
Nope. The criteria is if you graduated from a Stark County high school, you can borrow from the foundation.
You got a 2-point average.
You have to go to school full time. You have to have that 2.0 GPA, and you have to have been a graduate of Stark County High School. But as long as those things are true, you can borrow from us. We've had a few years ago, we had a student borrow from us, and her mother borrowed as well that same year. So it was very interesting. And Mom, they're both done. They're both done and paid back by now. But yeah, it was kind of
going
fun.
Full time together, mother and daughter.
They did. So they got their application in. So I mentioned applications are due by June 1st. So that's the first step. And then all the other paperwork needs to be in. And then we do interviews the third week in July. So, and that's our board of trustees interviews our students. And that is a big highlight for people who are on our board, is to meet all these great families, students and families, and interview them. I mean, it's a highlight for the staff too. We're all there, and it's a really busy time, and we get to meet everybody. And I remember this mom and daughter coming in and interviewing, so it's kind of fun. It's always fun.
It's got to be so meaningful. You do have a fun job.
I do have a fun job.
You mentioned, well, we both kind of rolled our eyes when I said the word FAFSA. Do you have tips for people on how to approach that little monster? Might be a good idea as long as you're doing your income tax. It's kind of the same stuff you're going to need to report, so maybe do them at the same time. That's what I would throw in there. What would you throw in there?
Well, the schools are really, really helpful about helping families fill those out, and I'm certainly not an expert in that at all. But now you can fill out your FAFSA a little earlier, and I think it fills in from your tax return or from the federal government website too.
If you do it online?
Yeah, if you do it online. So, and I think you have to do it online. So it's a big help. But the school that your student is applying to will be super helpful in filling that out.
Oh, technology has solved a lot of problems some of us who sent our kids to college back in the day, when you're filling that out by hand. So now it has to be online?
I don't know if it has to be, but it
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think that you fill it out online. And like you said, it makes it a lot easier.
And awesome and convenient and a little scary at the same time, that it can fill itself out with what it already knows about you. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's out there. That's the world we live in. Okay, deadline again is June 1st. You want to go to cantonstudentloan.org. We're going to talk a little bit more about the interview process, and I can't wait to hear some of the stories of some of the people whose lives have been changed. Thanks to you, Kim Leggett.
Oh, well. The donors and the students who repay their loans, that's who it's thanks to, truly.
And what an amazing thing. What a legacy. We'll be back with Kim after these words. You're listening to Our Community.